Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Rolando Romero is not scared. Just watch the press conference, man. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing something that really is reminding me of Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez, where Kambosos started to get the edge in, I think, like just the whole mental warfare, and at the press conferences where you could see that he was out talking and out gamesmanshiping Teofimo. And with Devonte, Devonte really, he's not trying to go word for word with crazy Rolando Romero. And I think that's because he knows he cannot win the verbal battle. Like Devonte Davis, some people just aren't arguers. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is the type of person to want to hurl verbal insults, argue, go back and forth. Like, some people just aren't into the cross-examination. You know what I mean? They just want to come and seal the deal. And that's what this is with Devonte Davis. He seems to be in a position right now where he's like, you know what? Forget all the cross-examination. Prosecution rests its case. Let's just seal the deal and off into the sunset. Where Rolly is like, nah, case not over, man. Next witness, cross-examination. I object, Your Honor. And that's how Rolly is. He called this man a koala bear. Just any expletive you could think of he's using. As soon as Tank comes on the stage, Rolly's attacking him. And I'm going to tell you, right, that stuff plays into a fight. And it plays to a fighter's advantage, and it creates a disadvantage for the other fighter because it gets under your skin. I don't care what anyone says. What Rolly is doing and saying is getting under Tank's skin, and it's showing. And the media is having a field day with this. They really are. The media is having a field day with this. And, when you watch it, now it's my understanding that Tank is unusually thin for this fight. We'll find out at the weigh-in tomorrow. But it's my understanding that Tank is unusually slim. Now, what we don't want to find out is that Tank overtrained. Okay? If he overtrained for this fight, that may not be a good thing for him. But we'll find out. But I've heard on several outlets, and of course, Rolly, his big mouth, is talking about it, that Tank looks unusually slim. He doesn't look bulked up. He doesn't look super muscular. That he looks unusually thin. Now, Tank and his team are professionals. They're not going to allow Tank to lose unnecessary weight, especially coming in with a guy like Rolly, who's very, very large and very, very physical. They're not going to do that. But maybe the strategy for Tank's team is to really use a lot of speed, a lot of boxing, frustrating Rolly, and just beat him round after round after round, like a serious boxing clinic, boxing beatdown. I'm trying to think, the last time I've seen somebody just get totally outboxed and just beat up, beat down, round after round after round. Now, we could talk about Bivol and Canelo, but that's not extreme. That's just someone getting outboxed, getting their ass whipped. I know one fight where someone just got beat down round after round after round. I just talked about these two, but it was Kawasaki and Jeff Lacey. That fight, there's been others. I'm trying to think right now, man. who were just in the boxing, just getting beat. They just didn't have an answer. They were just getting tore up. Well, I don't even want to talk about Mayweather and Corrales or Mayweather and Gotti. But this is what this could end up being, people. This could be a Kawasaki Jeff Lacy, a Mayweather Arturo Gotti. It could end up being like that. Gotti, Ricardo Mayorga, Jeff Lacy, all kind of similar in style. The big punch, aggressive, they hit you, they can hurt you. They have some boxing skill, but for the most part, aggressive, pressure, right? Gotti, Ricardo Mayorga, Jeff Lacy. There's a common thread amongst those three fighters. Then you have Mayweather, you got Tank Davis, you have Vernon Forrest, you have Jeff Lacy. So Mayweather, Kawasaki, and I said Jeff Lacy, I meant Mayweather, Kawasaki, we just talked about, and Vernon Forrest, right? Because Mayorga and Forrest, that's the fight. But you look at what's going on with those guys, their ability to box and move and beat the opponent down. They have what it takes to do that. But what we saw with Vernon Forrest and Mayorga was just one of them cases where it just didn't work out. Someone stands there too long trying to prove a point. But Tank could definitely be the Mayweather against Gotti. Tank could definitely be the Kawasaki against Jeff Lacy. He can be in that position and he can pull it off and he can box like that. I still don't understand why so many people aren't affording Davis the respect that he deserves as a master boxer. Tank Davis can box. So it's like I said in another video. Tank Davis, in my opinion, he reminds me of Miguel Cotto. Tank Davis and Miguel Cotto is the exact same. Miguel Cotto was left-handed, but he didn't fight southpaw, but he's left-handed. Tank's left-handed. Miguel Cotto come walking you down, ripping them hard shots, get you out of there. Tank Davis, same way. But if Miguel Cotto finds he's in with somebody who can hurt him, what does he do? Gets up on those toes, starts dancing, floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. Tank Davis can do the same thing. Oscar De La Hoya was another one. He'd sit there, man, and chop you down, but De La Hoya gets up on his toes, then you're really in trouble. So although Rolly is not afraid of Tank, and I think he's winning, he's definitely winning the verbal war. That's why Tank isn't really engaging him, because Tank can't out-argue and out-insult Rolly. Tank goes 0 to 100 and ready to get physical. But Rolly can sit back all day and talk crap and insult him and make fun of him. And Rolly's a bit more witty than Tank too. So Tank can't come back as quick as Rolly can. He can't say those things that are really catchy and can be really excellent sound bites. Floyd trying doing that, he'll just sound stupid. So he's smart to not go back and forth as far as verbally with Rolly. Just wait for the fight and get busy. But I have a feeling going into this fight that at that weigh-in, they're going to have to keep these guys separated. Because you can see that Tank is itching, man, to get his hands on Rolly. Rolly's itching to keep poking at him and making fun of him and getting under his skin. But I'm letting you know right now, Rolly's not scared. And like Ricardo Mayorga, this is what happens when you got a fighter who feels that this person is less than me. They don't deserve to be in the ring with me, and they get in there and try to get them out of there, and they can't. And you got a person who just doesn't care, who's not scared. And what happens is, a disaster. So we're going to see. But if you guys haven't watched that press conference, Rolly is telling people he's the most explosive. He's the hardest hitter, pound for pound, in boxing. He's the hardest hitter in boxing history. Rolly is saying all kind of crazy stuff, man. And it's very entertaining. And he's doing his part to sell the fight. I don't see them shaking hands at the end of the fight. maybe they do, maybe they don't. But Rolly is really pushing for the knockout in the first round. But do you guys really think, everyone has a puncher's chance, right? But my thing is, you guys as viewers, me as a viewer, can Rolly really get Tank out of there in the first round? Is Tank to me is too seasoned, too much of a professional to just go in there and be foolish. But I can see a lot of people thought that about Vernon Forrest. But the crowd in Brooklyn, like Davis's backyard, you can get caught up in the hype. You can get caught up in the hype, and things happen. Look at AJ and Ruiz. AJ should have easily outboxed Ruiz, but that Ruiz was a monster. He tried to lose too much weight to me. The fat Andy Ruiz was a beast, but AJ got caught up. The crowd trying to prove a point. Deontay Wilder had just knocked out Dominic Brazil, and the only way Deontay Wilder can, he's like death by straight right hand. So AJ, got caught up in the hype. The crowd trying to outdo Deontay, thinking the next fight be him and Deontay Wilder, and he went in there and got his ass clipped. With Devonte Davis, it doesn't seem that he's looking to another fight outside of Rolly. It looks like this is the fight he's focused on. I don't even think there's been another name thrown at Devonte Davis to create a distraction. Maybe Devin Haney, but he knows that's not happening next. Shakur Stevenson, that could happen next, but I doubt they'll do that. But there really is no other name being thrown at Tank Davis to distract him. So, I think if there's anything to distract Gervonta Davis, it would be the crowd. And it can happen. An electric crowd like that, people chanting your name. I'm curious to see how many people will be chanting for Rolly. There's a lot of people putting money on Rolly. People, hey, listen, this isn't my opinion. Go out and look. There are a lot of people putting big money on Rolly. Maybe it's the talk that's convincing him that Rolly's going to get him out and knock him out. Some people are just betting for Rolly to knock him out. Others are betting on the first round. But, the payout can be huge if you depending on how much money you put down, but it's a lot of risk. I don't gamble, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Period. So, I don't do that. But I do think there's something may be brewing here. Something may be brewing. Because Tank just didn't look, he ain't look too comfortable up there. He looked more like he looked annoyed. And that means that Rolly's getting to him. And that if Rolly can keep it up and really get under his skin at the weigh-in, really get under that man's skin, that could carry into the ring. And it could be to Gervonta's disadvantage because this is where Rolly is comfortable. Rolly is comfortable here with the trash talking, the insulting, getting under his skin, where Tank is like, I'd rather not talk, I just want to show in the ring. Like, Rolly's not going to be intimidated. Rolly's not going to be scared. There are a lot of people who, for some reason, in my opinion, they want Rolly to be scared of Tank. A lot of people are looking at this and can't believe that Rolly's, is standing up to Tank Davis. Rolly's not going to be bullied. Tank's not going to be bullied either, but Tank's even said he liked to bully the bully. But, what's his name? Rolly's not going to be bullied. And I think that's what makes for an outstanding fight when you have someone like Rolly who's just like, nah, not me. And you saw with Teofimo and Kambosos. Teofimo tried to intimidate Kambosos. Kambosos wasn't having none of that. I remember when Teofimo ran up on him, took his shirt off, walking around, looking foolish on stage. And Kambosos, met that fire with fire, and threw that shoulder into him and shoved him. And I watched how Teofimo responded. I was like, I remember we were talking, I was like, he lost the fight. I said, he just lost. He lost that one interaction. I was like, oh shit, who's this Kambosos guy? And that's why I started really doing my research on him. And I was like, oh, okay, the Australian Manny Pacquiao. And when I'm looking at this, I just feel that Romero is winning in all these meetings and all these interactions and all these engagements. I think Romero has the upper hand. It doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. But I think he's getting the advantage. He's getting the momentum. That's why so many people are getting behind him. That's why the odds are coming down. Okay? So we're going to see what happens. But like Ricardo Mayorga would say, no tengo miedo, you know, so I'm not afraid. I have no fear. And, you know, Rolly, you know, he said it in English, but he is not scared. And I am very excited for this fight. I'm going to leave it at that. But if you guys are, you know, if you're driving, yo, get your phone, man, connect it to your little stereo in the car, and play the press conference and just look at and listen to how this is going. Rolly Romero is a damn superstar, man. And even if he doesn't beat Tank, I think Rolly's gonna go on and do great things. But for Tank Davis, Tank Davis is a superstar as well. And if he can get in here and beat Rolly, especially if the fight's competitive, let's say Tank gets hurt and he survives and comes back to still win the fight, especially by knockout, I think both of their profiles go to another level. But this is an opportunity for both of these guys to really go to another level. Tank's already a superstar, but this type of fight can really put him on another level. It really can. Don't really know what's going on with him legally. I'm going to try to find out about that to bring that to you too, but I am really excited about this fight. But people, you got to listen to that press conference. Rolly's not scared at all. He's not scared of nothing. But I'm going to leave it at that, man. But I am surprised. I am surprised, to be honest, that a lot of people are now pulling for Rolly to beat Tank. I think it's a lot of, you know, high-profile boxers, too. They're changing. They're flipping the script. And I think what happened is that All Access, like when they watched that with Rolly, I think people got to see that humble side of this man. And I think a lot of people started to like that about him. And as a result, a lot of people are pulling for Rolly to get the upset. And I am very surprised at that. But then again, people are wishy-washy. But at the same time, there's something about Rolly that you can't help but being drawn to, especially when you look at All Access and get to know a little more about that boy's story, or that man's story. I'm telling you, he has something to him. Not sure he's gonna beat Tank, but there's something about Rolly that's capturing the imaginations, and we're gonna see what plays out Saturday, because if he can get that win, I think Rolly's out of here. Tank Davis, he's just a different species. Okay, so Davis is his own category. He is a different species of fighter, and if Rolly can beat that species of combatant, that makes Rolly a super bad man. But it's not going to be easy unless Tank gives him the opportunities, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, y'all take care. I'm about to go out here with my boy, get him something to eat. We're going to hang out. I'll be back out here later tonight, man. You guys please keep safe. Weekend's coming up, and I'm going to do the same. Shout out to the veterans. Thanks for your support. Like and subscribe. And as always, I'm in the breeze.